Most people believe waking up at 4 a.m. is about getting more work done. They are wrong. It is about who you become in the silence. In Eastern philosophy, this time is known as the Brahma Muhurta, the creator's hour. History's greatest philosophers, from Nietzsche to Lao Tzu, use this window to access a state of mind unavailable to the rest of the herd. Ignore this time, and you live your entire life in the chaos of the collective consciousness, never truly hearing your own thoughts. In this video, we are going to blend modern psychology with ancient spirituality to understand why the great minds seek the dark. Starting with what happens in the first 60 seconds after your alarm goes off. Part 1, the conquest of the pillow. The alarm goes off, and in that moment, you are not you. You are two people. One wants to get up, one wants to stay, and they go to war. This is not a metaphor. This is psychology. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote about this exact battle 2,000 years ago. In his personal journal, he argued with himself, "Is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" The Emperor of Rome, negotiating with his pillow, just like you. Here is what most people do not understand. The first 60 seconds after your alarm goes off determine the psychological direction of your entire day. Not the first hour, the first minute. When you hit snooze, you are not buying yourself rest. You are training your brain that your own commitments do not matter, that the voice telling you to stay comfortable is the voice worth listening to, and that voice gets louder every time you obey it. Psychologists call this your internal locus of control. It is your belief that you control your own outcomes, that your actions matter, that when you decide something, you follow through. Every time you say you will wake up and then do not, that belief gets weaker. Not in some abstract way, in a measurable, neurological way. Your brain stops trusting your own word. And here is the part no one tells you. It works the other way too. When you get up the moment the alarm sounds, before the negotiation starts, before the soft voice has time to speak, you build something. Psychologists call it self-efficacy, the belief that you can execute what you set out to do. You win the first battle of the day before the sun is up. And your brain enters the next 16 hours as someone who keeps promises to himself. This is not about willpower. Willpower is what people use when they have already started negotiating. By that point, you have already lost. This is about speed. The faster you move, the less time the soft voice has to build its case. Think about this morning. How long did it take you to get out of bed after your alarm went off? 5 seconds? 5 minutes? Did you check your phone first? Did you lie there thinking about whether you really needed to get up? That gap is where you lose, every single day. The people who wake up early are not stronger than you. They just removed the negotiation. They made the decision the night before. And when the alarm sounds, they move before the soft voice wakes up. That is the first shift. Win the pillow, win the morning. But here's the thing. Winning this battle once means nothing if you waste what comes after it. The real advantage is not in getting up. It is in what exists in the hour that follows, a silence most people have never experienced. Part 2, the sacred silence. There is a difference between being awake and being available. Most people do not know this difference, because the moment they open their eyes, they are already reacting. Phone, notifications, messages from last night, the world reaches them before their feet touch the floor. And from that point forward, they are not living their day. They are responding to it. This is not a character flaw. This is by design. Every app on your phone was built to capture your attention the moment you wake up. Every notification is timed to pull you into someone else's agenda. The system does not want you to think. It wants you to react, and it works on almost everyone. But there is a window, a gap in the noise, a time when the system is asleep and you are not. The early morning is not powerful because of some mystical energy. It is powerful because nothing is asking anything of you. No emails, no messages, no demands. The world has not started yet. And in that silence, something changes in your brain. Psychologists call it a low cognitive load state. Your mind is not processing inputs. It is not filtering noise. It is not defending itself against distractions. It is just clear. Lao Tzu called this Wu Wei, effortless action. Not because the action is easy, but because there is nothing blocking it. No resistance, no friction, just you and whatever you decide to do. You have felt the opposite of this. That feeling when your day is already out of control before it even begins. When you wake up and feel behind, that is not in your head. That is the result of waking up inside the noise instead of before it. The people who wake up early are not escaping sleep. They are escaping the chaos. They are buying themselves 1 hour, maybe 2, where the collective consciousness of the world has no access to them. This is the only time you truly own. Every other hour of your day has claims on it: work, responsibilities, other people. But this hour, no one even knows you are awake. And here is what most people miss. You do not need to meditate. You do not need a morning routine. You do not need to journal or exercise or read. You just need to exist in the silence before the noise starts. That is enough to change how your brain operates for the rest of the day. You enter the world proactive instead of reactive, choosing instead of responding, leading your day instead of chasing it. That is the second shift. Own the silence before it fills with noise. But silence alone is not enough. Monks sit in silence and remain weak. The next piece is what separates stillness from strength, a principle understood by a man who fought 60 duels and never lost a single one. Part 3. The Warrior's Hour. Silence is easy. Anyone can sit in a quiet room. The question is what you do with it. Most people who try waking up early treat it like a life hack. They set the alarm, they get up, and then they scroll through their phone in the dark instead of the light. Nothing changes. They just moved their distractions to an earlier hour. This is not transformation. This is relocation. There was a man in 17th century Japan who understood something different. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. He fought 60 duels. He won all of them, most before he turned 30. But here is what made Musashi different. He did not train when others were watching. He trained when no one was, before the sun came up, before his enemies woke, in the cold, in the dark, alone, not for glory, not to impress anyone, because he understood a truth that most people avoid their entire lives. The person you are when no one is watching is the person you actually are. There is a psychological term for this: private self-awareness. It is the ability to observe your own thoughts and actions without an audience, without validation, without anyone knowing whether you showed up or not. Most people have never developed this, because most people only perform when someone is watching. They go to the gym when others can see. They work hard when the boss is around. They post their progress so others can applaud. But at 4 in the morning, there is no audience. No one will know if you did the work or went back to bed. No one will praise you. No one will even ask. And that is exactly why it matters. Musashi wrote something near the end of his life, a list of principles called the Dokudo, the way of walking alone. One line stands out: do not seek pleasure for its own sake. This is not about punishment. It is about building something that cannot be faked. When you do hard things with no one watching, you stop needing external validation. You stop waiting for someone to push you. You stop performing for an audience that does not exist. You develop a relationship with yourself that most people never build, a private confidence that does not depend on recognition. This is what Musashi found in the early hours. Not productivity, not an advantage over his enemies, a kind of self-trust that only comes from voluntary hardship when no one is keeping score. You already sense this. You have always felt different from the people around you. That is not arrogance, that is awareness. And this hour is where you stop ignoring it and start feeding it. That is the third shift. Do the hard thing when no one is watching, not for results, for the person it turns you into. But there is one question left, the one that separates people who try this for a week from people who do it for years. Why would you choose discomfort when comfort is right there? The answer is darker than most people want to hear. Part 4, the rebellion. Here is the truth no one wants to say out loud. Comfort is a trap, and you are surrounded by it. Every part of modern life is designed to make things easier for you. Easier food, easier entertainment, easier connections, easier dopamine. You do not have to struggle for anything anymore, and that is the problem. Your brain was not built for this. For thousands of years, humans woke up to difficulty, to survival, to problems that required their full attention. The brain evolved to handle hard things. It expects them. When you remove all difficulty, your brain does not relax. It panics. It searches for threats that do not exist. It creates anxiety out of nothing. It turns on itself because it has nothing else to fight. This is why comfort does not make you happy. It makes you soft. And somewhere inside, you know this. You have felt it. That strange guilt when everything is fine but something still feels wrong. That restlessness when life is easy but you are not at peace. That suspicion that the path everyone follows leads somewhere you do not want to go. You are not broken. You are just not built for the cage they put you in. Nietzsche wrote about this over 100 years ago. He watched society move toward comfort and safety, and he warned that it would create a generation of people who are alive but not living, breathing but not becoming anything. He called the way out the Übermensch, not a superhuman, just someone who refuses to let comfort dictate their life, someone who chooses difficulty on purpose, not because they have to, because they understand what happens when they do not. Waking up early is not about the morning. It is about rebellion. Every time you get out of bed when your body says stay, you are saying no to the system, no to the algorithm, no to the path of least resistance that leads nowhere. You are choosing friction in a world that removed all of it. And yes, it is lonely. The people around you will not understand. They will ask why you do this to yourself. They will tell you to relax, to enjoy life, to stop being so hard on yourself. They are not wrong, they are just asleep, and you are not. That is the price. That is also the point. This is the fourth shift. Reject the comfort that keeps you weak, not because suffering is good, because the person you become through voluntary hardship cannot be built any other way. 4 pieces: the conquest of the pillow, the sacred silence, the warrior's hour, the rebellion against comfort. This is the psychology of people who wake up early. Not a routine, not a hack, a completely different way of moving through the world. The only question left is whether you will try it, or scroll to the next video and forget this by tomorrow.